President Trump calling out the corrupt leadership of the FBI, the Department of Justice, for their conduct during the Russia witch hunt. In a new interview, he said this to The Hill: "I hope to be able to put this up as one of my crowning achievements that I was able to do through the help of a lot of good people. We have tremendous support to expose something that is truly a cancer in our country." Joining us tonight, investigative reporter, Fox Business contributor Sara Carter, working diligently on this story from the very outset. Sara, first of all, good to have you here.
Thank you, Lou.
I want to start with this remarkable letter from the Gang of Four. Mark Warner, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, and of course, crying clown Chuck Schumer, calling on the intelligence community, the FBI and the Department of Justice to further subvert the President of the United States. I say further because in this letter, they also acknowledged they had a deal with these people to keep intelligence from the President of the United States. Your thoughts?
It's absolutely stunning. It's incredible how vast, how deep, Lou, this has gone. The comments made by John Brennan, the former CIA director, are borderline sedition. They're asking for people to go directly against the authority and the order of the United States president. He has every authority under Article 2 to declassify these documents, and the American people deserve to see it. I do have some news for you tonight. I have been told by sources that the documents will be turned over to the president next week. I hear that the FBI and the DOJ are redacting. What they're going to do is they're going to turn those documents over to the president and then say, now it's up to you to declass. I think that they're trying to figure out ways to stall or maybe put pressure on the president. I have talked to sources that have actually viewed these documents, who have top secret clearance to view them. And what I have been told is that there is nothing in the requests, nothing whatsoever, that would violate national security or give away sources and methods. And that's what claiming the DOJ, as well as the FBI and others, are claiming the president will do.
Sure. As they have, by the way, throughout. As they've stonewalled Congress, they've stonewalled the Senate, and to this point, it turns out that, and we don't know to what degree, they've actually been stonewalling the president of the United States. If indeed this letter from those four Democratic leaders is accurate and proves true, they've committed, as Jim Kallstrom said, basically treason.
I don't know how legally they would term that, but what we see is a group inside the United States, inside our government, a bureaucracy that is literally working against this administration, literally working against the president of the United States. And what we saw, Lou, before the election and then after the election wasn't just a witch hunt. This was not a witch hunt, because if you look at all the documents, what it shows, it was actually a silent coup. They were trying to remove a duly elected president of our country. And I think the American people now see it for what it is. We have the documents to prove it. There are more documents that I think are going to shock the conscience of our country once they come out. And once these documents are actually revealed, both the FISA, the Bruce Orr interviews, as well as numerous text messages and the Gang of Eight dossier, the answers will be there. And it'll be up to the American people, not the Democrats, not John Brennan, not Director Comey, not McCabe, who are all trying to hide behind what they did, which was basically bordering crimes and possible crimes, and they will be charged, I think, some of them. But we will see the truth, and the American people will make that decision.
And the president is now faced with what is clearly a direct order from the Democrats, the minority party that is supposed to be the loyal opposition, who are not loyal, but are obstructing and subverting the president, not simply opposing his policies. He is going to be faced with immensely weighty decisions, because if it is accurate that the FBI and the Department of Justice are redacting those texts in defiance of his direct order for them to be unredacted, if they are hiding anything in those FISA court applications, there will be hell to pay, because this is something that simply cannot stand defying a president of the United States.
Absolutely. And it's the authority of the president by his authority, he can have those unredacted documents, and he can disclose those to Congress, and Congress can disclose those to the American people. So they can kick and scream and cry at the DOJ and the FBI, but the American people are going to know the truth. They are going to get these documents. They can stall all they want, but in the end, we'll get them.
Rod Rosenstein rogue in the DOJ? According to a bombshell report from the New York Times back in the spring of 2017, the Deputy Attorney General suggested secretly recording his conversations with the president and floated the idea to invoke the 25th Amendment. Rosenstein denies it all. Fox News contributor, and she's more than a Fox News contributor. She has been working for 2 years as a national security investigative reporter on this Mueller issue, and she comes to us with decades of investigating, of being an investigative reporter. And I could go on, Sarah, but I'm not. So let's... Let's talk about, because you are a source of so much that has been exposed in the last 2 years, and I salute you for that. I really do. Now, do you believe the story that Rosenstein suggested taping the president and using the 25th Amendment to get him out of office?
According to the sources that I've spoken with, yes, I do believe this story, particularly because the New York Times had spent several months on this. That means they were in communication with the Department of Justice during those 2 months. They were trying to verify all of the information in their story. They had other sources. We know this based on Andrew McCabe's memoirs as well as Lisa Page's. Now, I know people are concerned. McCabe has lied in the past. That's why the Inspector General is looking into him. But look, he has nothing to lose. He's like a rat on a sinking ship with a bunch of other rats, Judge Janine, and he is going to take people down with him. He doesn't want to be the only guy to go down. He had these memos. He had these memos for over a year, and other people have had them too at the FBI. Apparently they leaked. A lot of people are pointing the finger at McCabe himself and others within the FBI and saying that's who got them.
Okay. Now look, McCabe's a liar. We know he's a liar. He's going to be indicted for being a liar. Okay. Comey's the liar. He lied to Congress. I haven't heard about his being potentially indicted or his case being before a grand jury. I don't like Rod Rosenstein either. But let me tell you this. I don't like him for a lot of reasons, not the least of which is that he slow-walked all of the congressional DOJ and FBI subpoenaed stuff to Congress and redacted just about everything. And I don't trust him. He brought Mueller to be interviewed as FBI head and then appointed him the next day to investigate Trump. All right? I don't like any of these players. It's not about like. They disrespect our system of justice, which seems to be going on all over. But Rod Rosenstein, what is coming now when the president declassifies, and I don't know how much he's agreed to declassify, and I want to know from you, is Rod Rosenstein going to be indicted, and is he looking to be fired? Is he setting this up?
Well, I think he definitely would appreciate being the martyr, and if the president fired him, I'm sure he'd play that card. But let me put it to you this way. The president needs to declassify these documents. The sources I've spoken with who have seen these documents, who have the classification to view them, have said there is nothing in there that is in any way damaging to sources and methods or national security. What is going to be damaging is to Rod Rosenstein, John Brennan, and others that are going to be implicated once the information goes public. The important thing for President Trump to understand is that Rod Rosenstein and these other people are playing him. The most important thing he can do is declassify that information so that the American people and Congress have this.
Are you answering my question? When you say that Rosenstein's playing the president, are you saying he's looking to be fired? Did he plant the story?
Look, the president under Article 2 has every right to get rid of Rod Rosenstein.
Okay.
We both know that. And it's important that the president doesn't have somebody in the Department of Justice that was willing to invoke the 25th Amendment, that was willing to wiretap the president of the United States.
Here's the problem. If it's going to bring on a Saturday night massacre and give the Dems a leg up, I don't blame the president. But and you know
I don't
what?
either. I don't either.
All right,
but the
Sara
president
Carter,
needs to
hopefully
declass.
I'll have you on again. Thank you.
Okay, great.
All right.